DNVR Bets Daily, RK and Dre, and Dre.
Oh no!
Have you ever just watched a man hemorrhage in front of you? That's what our listeners have been watching for weeks. I'm just hemorrhaging funds just right out here, and so we needed a graphic for this, but that last one should suffice. Yeah. We are on you've heard of a heater alert? We are on a fade alert. This means, and I need everyone here to listen very carefully, fade everything I do until further notice. And if I say a pick, you go the opposite of it. Get as far away from anything I'm saying as you can. This is very important PSA. Do not go near me right now. Fade everything I do, and hopefully that works out for you. And honestly, if it doesn't, you're changing the juju in the world to bring me back, which is better for everyone in the long run. So you're going to have to eventually take a loss because I will eventually come back. But until then, just fade everything I do. It's for the best. It's please do it for both of us. Don't listen to a thing I say.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it seems like sound advice. I could have used that advice, frankly, a couple days ago, if not a week ago. But yeah, I think that's a solid rule to put in there. Luckily, my KBO pick gets postponed. That game, I had picks on either side postponed. Doesn't even matter. They're playing again, the Dinos today. So we're going back to the well with that, with the best pitcher in the KBO. But we just can't get rolling on the European soccer. Aguero doesn't start. That's fine. DK hooked us up because that bet was voided. And then my Coppa Italia final, Juve, who's won basically every championship this decade. They're in the final. They can't get the goal to score. Frankly, they deserve to lose, and then they lose at penalties with Ronaldo not even taking a shot because he doesn't.
Oh my God.
They were so bad. They missed 3 in a row and it was done. They didn't even get to the 5th penalty kick.
I remember that happened to Portugal in the semis of the Euro Cup one year. You got to get you if your lineup doesn't, if there's a chance that your best penalty taker doesn't come on the field, you need to change your lineup. I realize you like having him there to anchor it, but it's kind of like when the Rockies didn't put out Kyle Freeland for one single game in the 2019 playoffs? 2018 playoffs. Yeah, 2018 postseason. They go down in three games to the Brewers. They don't even give Kyle Freeland a chance to get on the mound, even on 3 days rest?
If not 4, right? Because yeah. Terrible. So you got to get your guy on the field. So anyways, European soccer giving us fits. PGA, not my friend today. 1-3 on my matchup picks. As it stands, we're still in a decent position for my 5 top picks. So Tony Finau, who we had to finish in the top 30, all the way up at tied for 10th. And he's really only 2 strokes off the lead, which is there at -7. Ian Poulter, Mark Hubbard, who you told me is a local guy. Yeah, Denver guy, which is great.
Had no clue. Had absolutely no clue. So,
because you never heard of him before, right?
I had not. I had a teacher named Mr. Hubbard in sophomore year of high school, I believe. He had this great policy where if you turned in a homework and you got 10 out of 20, he would give you one more chance to fix the ones you missed. Yeah. So shout out Mr. Hubbard. Anyways, he's 10th place. We need him to finish in the top 30. We're off to a good start there. Gary Woodland, we have him to finish in the top 20. He really found his game on the back 9. He birdied 3 in a row at one point, finished par. So I think he finishes 2 under. Unfortunately, couldn't get us the win over Dustin Johnson in that group, who put together a nice performance. He almost roared all the way back. In fact, when he made the birdie putt to get to -2, Dustin Johnson one-upped him right after that to go to 3 under, and then he was never able to catch him after that. Harold Varner, your boy. We need him to finish in the top 40. He's T68 right now. So again, you'd just like to be within striking distance. He finished under par today. That's what you like to see. We're doing all right there. And then our 2 top 20 picks are the ones that are not coming through for us so far. Although I would say not out of it by any means. Both guys are a great Friday away from being back in contention for the top 20. The Xander Schauffele, 1 over, never really had it today, and just kind of had a tough round out there. And then Justin Thomas, man, Mr. Consistency. I was just going back to the Thomas well, and he didn't have it either today. In fact, kind of got worse for him as the day went on. So I have faith in both of those guys to put together good rounds tomorrow, but those are the furthest off our marks right now. Honestly, where I am right now, if those first 3 guys we mentioned finish where they need to finish, I'll be very, very happy. But big shout out to Big Tony Finau, who I'll reveal, although, I guess I'll just reveal it. I hate to do this to my guy, Tony Finau.
Oh, no.
With where I am right now. But I took my $10 free bet that DraftKings tossed at us for betting on Aguero, even though he didn't play. And I threw that on Tony Finau to win the tournament. So it was he's, I think, 25-1 right now.
I love that. That's great.
Free bet, toss it. And then I had a $3 free bet. I don't even know where that one came from. I put that one on Ricky Fowler, my other boy, who had a nice day today, sitting there at 2 under, I believe.
Yep. 4.
4 under. Wow. Okay.
Ricky, T16.
Ricky. Let's go, Ricky.
Outstanding. Right there with Brooks Koepka.
I got 33-1 on that. So
that's beautiful. Oh,
let's
I love
go,
that.
Ricky.
Yeah, odd day. I mean, the guys we thought would kind of keep up that nice form, Varner and Justin Thomas, Justin Rose, Xander Schauffele, not really having it today.
Right, and then you had this narrative that the long hitters weren't going to be as successful on this course because it doesn't allow you to just grip it and rip it. But Bryson DeChambeau, who currently is on pace to have the longest average driving distance in the history of golf, right there at 4 under, put together a really nice round. And he's like the talk of golf right now because everyone's been saying that the reason for the increase in distance just across, of golf, everyone's been saying that is because of the advances in technology. Well, DeChambeau goes and says, watch this, puts on 20 pounds of muscle, adds 20 yards to his drive and says, it's not only about the technology, it's about the fitness of these players as well. And I mean, just look at these guys. DeChambeau's a house. Brooks Koepka's a house. Dustin Johnson's a house. And all these guys are just hitting the hell out of the ball. You go back 10 years in golf. There's not a single person on the tour who looks like these guys except for Tiger Woods. And he was dominating. So, golfers, I feel like as a community have been trying to say for years, it doesn't matter what type of shape you're in, you can be a great golfer, which is true. But slowly but surely, we're seeing all these guys get into better shape. Gary Woodland is in better shape now. And all of these guys are saying okay, so yes, golf is about being athletes. And, these athletes are doing a lot. These athletes are playing better when they're in better shape. Shocker. Anyways.
Not too crazy. No, I like it. And I mean, once again, the sports books, guys like DeChambeau were way up there. Webb Simpson were way up there in the odds. And they started off real well. Webb Simpson, second highest ranked American, third highest ranked. Also, the top 10, when I was looking early on, it's a lot of, there's an English flag there, Colombian, Norwegian. Wasn't feeling too good about our plus 200 American prop. But then I look at the rest of the top 10 and even top 20, and there's a lot of American flags there. So I'm feeling okay. Yeah,
and Jordan Spieth, another good round from him. So he's right on the edge of putting it together, I think, which is, I guess, a good segue into my picks for tomorrow. First off, we're going Spieth over Kisner and Zach Johnson. I think it's a plus 120. I think that, obviously he put together a nice round today. And I just think he's right on the precipice. And if he figures out the driver on the range tomorrow morning before he goes out there, watch the heck out. And you hear me talk a lot about my guys. Spieth is not my guy, but I know a golfer on the precipice when I see one. He's one club away from winning this tournament. That's the driver. So let's see how he does tomorrow off the tee.
Okay.
All right, we're going back to the well on Ricky Fowler here. I think that he found his game. We talked about this yesterday, remember? I said I think that missing the cut might have helped him. Yeah. And then I saw an interview with him today where he said, man, it really kicks you into gear when you're sharing a house down at this tournament with your buddies and you got to pack your bags on Friday afternoon and they get to stay. And, I think he was with Jordan Spieth and Justin Thomas. So he, it motivated him. I think that he ends up tomorrow right around the top of the board. Rory, he scares me a little bit in this proposition because he played so poorly today that he can just go out there with nothing to lose tomorrow, and you never know when he puts it together. But I think Ricky is going to continue playing really good golf. All right, my first non-American pick.
Wow.
Justin Rose over Jon Rahm and Justin Thomas tomorrow. Rose birdied 3 out of the last 5 today. He was fighting for the first really 14 holes of the round, or sorry, should I say 13. And then it all came together for him. His fight, which was, he just was really trying to keep it in play. And then he finally got it, started rolling it, started making putts, making plays. So I think that he gets back on track tomorrow. And then the last one, Gary Woodland over Dustin Johnson and Hideki Matsuyama. I think Johnson comes back a little bit, maybe a little more wayward off the tee. I think Woodland, again, another guy who surged late, had 3 birdies in a row at one point in the back 9, and didn't give any back after that. So I think Woodland plays well tomorrow. Woodland, Rose, Ricky, and Spieth to win their groups tomorrow. Remember, no matter how convincing you just thought I was about any of this, do not take these picks. Take the opposite.
The problem is some of these are 3 pairing groups.
They're all 3 pairing groups. So you got to just pick anyone else. You have a 50-50 chance of picking the right guy as long as you feed
I'd love to have Bizarro Ryan here to consult with him. Which of these picks that Ryan didn't take do you like?
You want who my least favorite in each of those groups is?
That's exactly right.
Okay. So
do it up for me, please.
The people that I think have the least chance of having the best round tomorrow out of these groups: Hideki Matsuyama, Jon Rahm,
I like
CT
Rahm.
Pan, and Zach Johnson.
Yeah, Zach Johnson and Rahm, I might actually fade you on. I might take that.
So there you go. Just something you should know about Rahm. He was real close to breaking a club out there today. He was an angry man.
I love it. That's typically how I am too. Webb Simpson, Bryson DeChambeau. Nice, interesting grouping there with Simpson at plus 125, but that doesn't take into account the tie is in the mix there too. If you want no tie, it's Webb Simpson plus 102, DeChambeau minus 132. That's kind of a fun pairing.
Oh, so you've got the 2-man matchups. I didn't see those when I was looking earlier.
Oh, yep. I've got a 2-man matchup. Yep. There's a few here, but that definitely is the best. I guess Woodland's there too.
Oh, they've updated these.
Those kind of picks.
Maybe this is what I should be doing. They don't have the full. Well, they've got a few out here. Oh, yeah. Should we change? Should we change here on the fly? That way you can fade me more effectively. All right, forget everything I just said. All right, let's go. We're going with the same golfers, but I'm just going to narrow the matchups down. So it starts with. Let me just make sure I don't miss anyone here. Okay. All right, we're taking Woodland over Johnson.
Yep.
We are taking...
They're even a plus 110 there. Love it.
We are taking Justin Rose over John Rahm.
Okay. Yep. Plus 130. Love that. Great.
See if there's any more here.
And like you could take Woodland again over Matsuyama.
I know.
But that's a minus 106. You don't love that value.
I'm thinking about it though. Got to be honest. I'm trying to see. They just updated these. If you're wondering why we're going through here.
That feels like the safer one too.
Okay. We're taking Spieth over Kevin Kisner.
That I like. That I like a lot. What are you getting that at?
Minus 110, I think it was.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair for Spieth.
And then, these are so much better. I like these so much more.
Good, I'm glad.
You don't have to worry about this third guy coming out of nowhere, you know?
Exactly.
We're taking Ricky over Rory. That is plus 150.
Ooh. I'll just say, while we are fading Ryan, that is just unbiasedly good value there, especially with how the two guys just played on day one. I'm just saying, like, objectively, that is a good value bet there.
No, it's not, because I picked it.
I'm adding that to like my dark web slate.
No.
It's not going on record. Forget I said any of this, but it's objectively good value. I'm just saying.
You have to fade me to get me back to life.
I don't know what to do anymore.
It's the only way.
See, and our problem is I'm so much in my comfort zone when losing. You know, that's really where I'm like, okay, all will be well. But we're missing the hubris of RK here. It's terrible. It's thrown off the whole chemistry of the show. I think.
Did we get 4 there? Was that 4?
Was Spieth your 4th?
I think it was. I think that was 4. So.
Oh yeah. Because then you gave out
home.
Rick. You gave out Ricky, so that's the 4th. Yes, I'm sorry.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
So those are the ones. Get in on them.
Great.
And fade me.
Yeah. Perfect.
All right. You got any golf for us? Anything you like?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. Cool.
Right
we will. Are you going to give us KBO tonight?
I'll give you KBO. I've got an update on the EPL. I've got an Italian soccer future for you. So yeah, whenever you want me to empty the bag, I'm ready.
Before we get to that, want to give a shout out to our friends over at DraftKings Sportsbook. You can get in on DraftKings Sportsbook right now, and you can get a $1,000 sign-up bonus when you use the code DNVR. That's right, DraftKings Sportsbook, the top-rated sportsbook app in America, has a sign-up bonus up to $1,000. And again, you got to go to DraftKings Sportsbook, use that code DNVR, and yes, you must be 21 or older. Colorado only. Bonus comprises of a first deposit bonus and a first bet match, each up to $500. Deposit bonus requires a 25x playthrough, and restrictions do apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. And yes, if you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-522-4700. You can get help. And again, DraftKings Sportsbook always coming through for us. You know, we had the Sergio Aguero pick yesterday, and he didn't start. And it messed up our whole strategy there with the Man City prop on however many goals they score. You get that much in free bets, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. And, man, it is really nice to see that we got that bet voided. And then DraftKings Sportsbook comes in and says, hey, thanks for trying. Here's $10. Here's a $10 free bet. Technically, if Aguero plays, we get at least $30 in free bets, but we lost him, so now we get nothing. But, Dre, you have a pick for us, especially if you didn't get in on this, to still enjoy that little boost there from DraftKings.
Right, because then there are 2 other applicable games for this prop, and that was Liverpool-Everton, which is an interesting matchup because Liverpool hasn't been playing well. Everton, since the coaching change halfway through the season, I've been a little more defensive, so I don't love that for this prop. The game I do love for this prop is Tottenham Manchester United, a game where I thought the tie was the most likely outcome yesterday. Now I'm leaning more towards Manchester United, who's just been in extraordinary form right before the break, 10 games unbeaten, scoring a ton of goals, and going against Tottenham's really beneficial because Tottenham's defense is a little suspect. I mean, they play a wide open game, they're not going to play a defensive. So this game's going to be conducive to lots of goals. And it's really going to be interesting. You have Rashford's back from injury. He's the one with the best odds to be the first one to score. But he's coming back from injury. He hasn't really been part of this 10-game unbeaten streak, this great run. So I think I would stay away from that. Anthony Martial, who has been in a nice run of form, very likely to score their first goal. He's at plus 500. Nice odds there. You've got Igalo, who's another of their more offensive-oriented players. He's scored the first goal in a few of the last few games. He's at 575. But really, the best value here is Bruno Fernandes, the wonder kid from Portugal, who really turned the team around once he came in the January transfer window. He's more of a midfielder, but he's their primary penalty kick taker. And that's happened in some of these recent games where he was the first goal scorer for Manchester United because the first goal to be scored came on a penalty, which then opened up the game and led to more scoring overall. Not all that unlikely in soccer, especially after, the EPL referees are going to be under a little more scrutiny after that huge screw up with the Southampton game. This is the biggest, most high profile game of the weekend, so the refs will be on top of it. I think there could be a chance that scoring starts off with a penalty, and Bruno Fernandes at plus 700 becomes very, very intriguing with that.
Wow! So, imagine you hit the plus 700 and you get the boost. That would be
extraordinary.
Quite exciting.
Yeah, truly. And United's an interesting team to kind of monitor in all of the EPL. I really think this is one of my theories with the Nuggets and Avs is they've kind of benefited from injuries and lack of depth at points because it helps reestablish the pecking order in a sense. And then, it can sometimes be a struggle to then get everyone back in the mix. Manchester United's going to have that to some extent with getting Pogba back, getting Rashford back, and throwing them back in the mix. But if they can do that and be successful and still keep this positive run, watch out. They're going to be really, really tough to stop in this final season stretch. And then in this Coppa Italia loss, I grew up in Italy. I'm a big fan of Italian soccer. Seeing Juventus the last two games, and they've won the Italian league it's like Bayern, who our first future loss was Dortmund not winning that league. Bayern Munich, they won the Bundesliga, I think 8 consecutive times now, or 6 consecutive times. Juve is on a similar run of form. But having watched Juve now twice in the last week, I think this is the rare year where they do not win the championship. They have Lazio, the second team from Rome, right behind them at 52 points. Juve is at 53, and I think they're primed for the taking. That Lazio future to win the league is just plus 250, which I think is really intriguing. I'd get on that now. Lazio's first game this weekend is going to be tricky against another top 4 opponent, but I still think regardless of the outcome there and Juve having an easier game against Bologna, still I really like Lazio to pull off the upset. Juve looks like a team where they're going through a generational change, and the young guys who are really the more talented guys at this point are looking at the older guys who've made up the core of the team and saying like, oh no, they got us. Well, the old guys are like, we don't have this anymore. You're going to have to step it up. But those young guys don't really know how to do it because they've been so used to the old guys stepping up in the big moments, and then they're there to give the push and score that third goal and really tack on to the dominance, but not make those big key moments. So there you go. There's a couple international soccer bets for you as well.
I love it. I love the insight there on Juve. Just kind of falling back, and you're watching a pattern there. And I love that it's close too. We talked about it the other day. That's the one boring thing about the EPL here is we're excited to watch, but it's all for naught. The only thing that's exciting here is my Wolves trying to sneak into a top 4 spot. And I picked them this weekend, so sorry, boys.
You're still sticking with the Traoré first goal prop?
Yeah, maybe.
Also,
I don't know.
Can we talk about City and Arsenal not hitting the over 3.5?
No.
That was so close, man. And then
there is dark magic against me right now.
It really is. Like, David Luiz gets a red card on a penalty. I almost think that hurt our prop. You would think one team being down to 10 men would open up the scoring more, but then Arsenal really was in a position where they're just trying to make it less embarrassing.
That's so annoying, though.
It was really annoying. And then there's this like horrendous injury that happens with this collision with the goalie. They're getting this guy on the stretcher for like 10 minutes. So the game ended at like minute 101 or something. 11 extra minutes. But City had like several opportunities to just blast one in and make it 4-0, but they just couldn't do it. They're playing sloppy. The players weren't really thinking about the game anymore because this terrible injury had happened. It was just a horrific. And between that and Sheffield United, I mean, really some pretty unlucky losses.
Yeah, for real. So anyways, my 2 EP, maybe I can turn it, or maybe the streak ends tomorrow and then we start moving back forward, because I have Tottenham plus 114, draw no bet. Maybe we get a 3-3 game there, something exciting like that.
I could see it.
And then Wolves plus 115. So those are my 2 EPL picks. Yeah. We'll talk a little bit more about the weekend tomorrow. Of course, better remind you guys now, because probably our biggest UFC audience listens to this here show. And while we will have a lot of UFC to talk about tomorrow, I should tell you now, as spots are going quickly, that we are having a little UFC watch party to watch our guy Curtis Blades fight on Saturday at the DNVR bar. We're going to bring in the fight into the DNVR bar. You can reserve your spot now. As soon as we hit that state mandated number that we can no longer cross, we're going to shut down RSVP. So make sure you go to the DNVR Twitter. You'll see the announcement somewhere on there, and make sure you click that link. Go to the Eventbrite, RSVP. If you have a big group, you can actually reserve a large table, and basically what you have to do is pay for your entrees and a couple pitchers, up front to reserve that table. But 6 to 8, have a nice little corner in the bar, and it's technically our first ever watch party at the DNVR bar. So we're really excited to watch our guy Blades fight on Saturday.
I'm so excited for this. I can't wait. Just watching a fight with you, instead of texting back and forth all night is going to be so fun. But to do that at the DNVR bar, I mean, what's better than this? So
awesome.
I'm totally amped.
And we have a question here from Kenga, who says, am I crazy to put money on Hubbard at plus 5,000? 50 to 1. He's in second place.
No, that's not crazy at all.
Yeah, I never trust these guys who just pop up on the leaderboard in day one. But
yeah. What and consider a plus 20 on Hubbard as well. Consider Austin Hubbard, other local product, but competing in the UFC this weekend. Spread your money, diversify your portfolio, I guess.
Diversify your Hubbards.
Yeah, diversify your Hubbards as well. Exactly.
So I don't know. I mean, no, sprinkling players to win PGA is not crazy. It's just unlikely.
I did it all weekend last weekend, and it was great.
Maybe I'll tell you, yes, it's crazy, and then you go do it.
There you go. That is great advice.
There we go. It's absolutely crazy to put money on Hubbard at plus 5,000. Don't even think about it.
Beautiful. Good luck. What better approval than that? Come on. He just kissed it for you. Yeah.
You're gonna finish us off with a KBO pick.
I forgot all about the KBO. Yes, so we're back. Dinos Tigers was postponed, so we're again betting against the Tigers to go under 3.5. betting for the Dinos to go over 4.5. I really like that. Wyverns.
Did that hit last night?
Oh, it was postponed.
We're
going back to the well.
I see.
Bears Giants. I'm taking the over. I should see what the over is, but this is a really nice pitching matchup. So this is a classic. I really feel good during a
You're
bit
saying
of
like it's going to hit 15, so I don't really care what the heck.
Absolutely. And it's set at 10. So they're giving you a layup there. And then Wyverns against the Heroes. That's just 9.5. Love that pitching matchup as well to go over.
Boom. 4 picks.
4
there.
Maybe. Yep.
4, and I've got 4 matchups tomorrow. So
all right.
And you should pick the opposite person in all of my matchups.
Yeah, I should. I will, just for fun. So
all right, everyone else do that too. Everyone fade me. I'm telling you, I need you to do this. Every single person that's listening to this podcast or is watching live, you must fade me. It's all I can ask. Yeah, there you go. Opposite of a heater. It's also known as a fade alert. Everyone fade me. Do not even think about riding with any of my picks. But for now, it's going to wrap it up for us on DNVR Bets Daily. Appreciate you all for betting against me tomorrow. Hopefully we can turn around this juju, or you're going to win money. It's a win-win situation, I feel like, for everyone. That'll wrap it up for us today. We will talk to you tomorrow and preview the weekend on DNVR Bets Daily. Good luck.